This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. We're looking at the Tuesday DraftKings 8-game main slate. Today in the NBA has been a wild ride.
What?
Quite a few trades going
What?
on.
When?
We just had Andrew Wiggins ruled out. I don't know if Miami's on their way to trading for Giannis. I mean, like, there's rumors afloat. We could have Harden going to Cleveland and Garland going to Los Angeles. Vucevic got traded. Well, the Bulls traded everybody today.
They also tried to trade Kobe White, and the Timberwolves were like, "Nah, we're good because we want Giannis."
Yeah, and well, they ended up getting Anthony Simons. They shipped out Nikola Vucevic finally after years of rumored trades. Jaren Jackson Jr. trade kicked off the day. I don't think we saw that one coming. The Utah Jazz shipping 3 first-round picks, Walter Clayton Jr., a few other pieces. Yeah,
I'm all in. Kyle Anderson, Georges Niang.
Yeah.
Niang, who hasn't played a minute yet for Utah. He's now on the Grizzlies team.
Right? Because they needed more wings for Jaren Jackson Jr.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Yusuf Nurkic now is
they have Walker Kessler next year coming back too. They have Ace Bailey, who they took 5th this year. It's
not a bad little core.
Fun team.
Obviously, Memphis in the teardown. You got to assume John Morant's on his way out.
Did you see that they have as many first-round picks as the Oklahoma City Thunder do now?
I mean, good. Got to rebuild, and they could probably get more if they trade John Morant. So
I think they got 4 for Bane and 3 for Jaren.
Yeah, 3 for Jaren. Plus, they got Walter Clayton Jr., who was this year's first-round pick.
Right.
So
Right.
And
Taylor Hendricks, who was 3 years ago, first-round pick.
Yeah. So we're on absolute hug watch still here, going into roster lock, which is 2 hours away. Many names being rumored about here. Again, we don't know if Giannis is going to be moved. And if Giannis is moved, we know Miami is a team that is rumored to be on his short list of destinations. So that's something to watch for on this slate as they face Atlanta today. Boston apparently is still in the mix. We'll see.
Who?
I don't know, but by trading Vuk, they apparently have like $14 million. They can acquire a player.
Yeah, I saw that there. Yeah, they can trade for they were previously not allowed to trade for a player making more than $14 million.
Yeah.
And now they can.
Yeah, so there's like some maneuverability for them if they decide to go and get a wing player or something like that. On top of all of that, the Pacers ruled out their entire team pretty much as we expected last night.
Yep.
We talked a lot about that. That was one of the main reasons we had a hard time building a preview lineup, was just like, well, we think that the Pacers are going to rule everybody out. And then they, in fact, did just that. So, we're dealing with that situation here today. Yeah, man, ownership is kind of wild as well. The first 5 guys are all Pacers, and 5 of the top 6 are or 6 of the 7 are Indiana, and then it's Luka. So, jamming in 6 and 7, jamming in Luka with a Pacer stack, I guess, is the way the chalk play is for today. So, pretty wild day in the NBA, and we have a lot to talk about here in the next hour.
Yeah, not to mention like all the players that have also been like downgraded. You just mentioned Wiggins. He was previously downgraded to questionable. Norm Powell was downgraded from questionable to doubtful. So the Heat are going to be without Tyler Hero, Norm Powell, and Andrew Wiggins tonight. Bobby Portis was downgraded to questionable. Yusuf Nurkic today, middle of the day, after all these trades, he was out. He's in. He's playing tonight. They traded all their other centers, and Kevin Love got downgraded to doubtful. So they're like, hey, Nurk, actually, you're not traded. Can you play tonight? He's like, yeah, sure. So Nurk's just randomly in. We still don't know the OKC news. There's there's a lot in the air, John. It is someone just heard it in your background. They're just honking the horn. They're like, "Hey, Giannis is a Heat."
Yeah. City driving when there's like 2 feet of snow on the ground, all the lanes get one way. It's pretty, So.
We have all these. It's so funny. Like everyone is like Giannis to Chicago, Giannis to Miami. At this point, like the latest report is Giannis to either Minnesota or to Miami seems the most logical.
Yeah.
All those like prediction markets that somehow are illegal had the Bulls as the team like yesterday. And then by the end of the day, it was the Heat that were the favorites. And then Minnesota, like those markets are insane. And I don't, but yeah, this slate is gonna be crazy. There's 8 games. Thankfully, I mean, honestly, with all the movement, maybe it's better that we don't have the 10 p.m. games on the slate tonight. Maybe that's a better thing for us. But yeah, before we get into it, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment your team's favorite, all the trades today, what's been their favorite move, like whatever you guys have on your mind. DFS related, fantasy related, whatever. But yeah, we can.
Apparently, according to this NBA.com reporter, the Celtics were also in conversations for Jaren Jackson Jr. and went to Vucevic after he went to Utah. So
yeah, Boston was never matching that package.
Nah, hard to do.
They were never, ever.
It would have been like Peyton Pritchard plus Simons plus first round picks or something.
Yeah, and they probably. Yeah, which is fine. I mean, 3 firsts plus Walter Clayton. Their firsts are more valuable than your first, John. I'll say that. That was the Utah Jazz first round picks are going to be more valuable than the Boston Celtics first round picks.
Yeah, for sure. All right. A lot of people in the comment section. We do appreciate you guys all popping in saying hello to us here. A lot of people, like you said, talking about where Giannis is going to go. Bazelis, Coach Chris says maybe the only guy who can play Chicago today, him and like Kobe White, I guess, would probably be the two. Jalen Smith playing tonight? Did we get a?
He's questionable now.
Maybe if he gets ruled in, you can go there as well. Preffy wants to know why the Pacers were all ruled out because they played a game yesterday. So
since yesterday, he's saying. I think he's because you commented like we were assuming they'd be out. I mean, they just haven't. They've just rested on back-to-back. So that was the conversation we had on the preview show.
Yeah.
That they lost to the Pistons by 50 in the last back-to-back, and they rested all these guys.
Yeah. So we were just assuming that they weren't going to play, and then they didn't play. So, anyways, Luka, point guard position, $12,000. He is the highest rostered spend up for today because there is so much value on this slate. You have SGA, he was questionable. You have Cade at home against Denver in a good spot at $10,000. Any reason you would not play the chalk here for Luka tonight, given all the value that is on this slate?
Yeah, because there's other spend ups. And, could Luka go for 90 fantasy points tonight? Yes. Are there other players on this slate that could go for 80 that have cheaper price tags? Also, yes. So if Luka doesn't get you 60 tonight at a lot of ownership, then you're in a good position. I'm not saying I wouldn't play Luka, but, I think that there's other spend ups that I like as much as Luka that are not getting as much ownership. So
sure.
You can obviously, anytime you want, just click the button and move on.
And man triple-doubled and a half.
Yeah, he triple-doubled and a half and is incredibly good. And again, doesn't need as much time as other players to get to value. But, on the off chance he doesn't at chalk, like...
Sure.
I'm not like necessarily, it's not like a direct positional pivot where, I'm pivoting off Luka. That means I have to play SGA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that to be the case. I do think Cade's the better of the two pivots ultimately. 1.4 fantasy points per minute, 34% usage rate, elite minutes in every competitive game.
Yeah.
Massive upside. So Cade would be the preferred option off of Luka for me.
Okay. If we're going down into the next range, you have Murray at 92, Ryan Rollins at $8,700, Cooper Flag, Jalen Brunson in that 8K tier.
Yeah, Murray, tough spot. If you play him, he can make shots. Rollins, we kind of talked about what the ownership would be. And yeah, 14%. I think a lot of people don't know what to do with Ryan Rollins. I think he looks very good. Like, you look at the numbers without Giannis and Kevin Porter, and everything looks good for Ryan Rollins. It's a sticker shock, right? 8,700 is a very hefty price tag for someone that we're not used to seeing at this price tag.
Yeah, it's like a 28% usage rate, I think, and like averaging 24 points a game without Giannis and KPJ in the lineup. So
yeah, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. It's all good, and possibly no Portis with the downgrade too. So definitely okay with Rollins. Cooper Flag is a great tournament play. No one's going to get to him. It's a bad spot. Like, Boston plays slower than every other team in the NBA.
Not only that, but now you have to take it for what it is. But if Anthony Simons is on the floor, you might get more, Hugo Gonzalez or Jordan Walsh, guys who are at least considered to be much better defenders than Anthony Simons is. So Cooper Flag might end up drawing some of that attention as well.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, it's just not a great spot, but there's a lot to like. The minutes are great for Cooper Flag. The numbers without PJ Washington and Anthony Davis and Derek Lively and Brandon Williams, who was downgraded doubtful today, look really good for Cooper Flag. So yeah, I have no objection. Brunson leads the team in usage, second in fantasy points per minute. Anyone from the Knicks could go off tonight and it'd be like, yeah sure.
Had such a hard time pulling the trigger on Towns for props today, though I know it's a good play. They bumped his rebound prop up to 12.5, which is high, but he's gone over that. His point props at 20.5, a number he hasn't hit in 6 games, but also this matchup would absolutely be the spot that he would go over, especially Mitchell Robinson to kind of cut in to some of the playing time there. But somebody here on Washington for the Knicks can go off.
Well, that's why sometimes recent historical data doesn't necessarily always paint the whole picture, because
Carl Anthony shooting. If he was shooting and missing, I could buy into it, but he's also not shooting. And
but that could change at any moment. When you're looking at a 5-game sample versus an entire season, he's still a 25% usage player without Mitchell Robinson and without Miles McBride, and he's still a 1.3 fantasy point per minute player without those guys. It doesn't take long. I mean, we're talking about a guy who has 260 actual point games in his career. Something Kevin Durant hasn't done that. He's one of the top 6 scorers of all time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know what he's capable of. I'm just saying right now, he's not shooting threes, right? He's just he's not taking shots. And that's where I'm curious as to why that is. While he's not shooting 3 straight 20-point games for Josh Hart, OG Anunoby's got 20 plus and 4 or 5, Brunson scoring. So it's is he not scoring because he doesn't need to or want to, or what's going on there? So, but we're talking about Brunson here. I do like Brunson. He's going to get his shots. I know that for sure. So
yes.
All right. So work your way down. Derek White, Daniels, Black here, Pritchard in the mid range. Suggs is where the ownership is of that group, down at 6K. But do you have any interest given all the value that's on the board today?
If you want, go ahead. I mean, the minutes, like you said, are pretty good. We had you said there was a comment about not being able to play Bulls. Coach Chris said that.
He said just play Modest.
I don't know. I know Dosunmu and Kobe White have been prominently.
Yeah, Legion Hoops are the account you and I follow. Tweeted out within the next 48 hours. Expect Io and Kobe White to be on new teams. So,
well, Kobe White could have already been on a new team. The T-Wolves declined.
But right now, Bazulis might be the only safe player not to get pulled from this game because he's not being traded. So
yeah, and I understand it. But if the game, Dosunmu is a pretty good play when you look at the context of the Bulls tonight. Mm-hmm. No Giddey, Vooch traded, Herter traded, Trey Jones out. maybe no Jalen Smith. I mean, we just saw Io 2 games ago go nuclear. So I would be perfectly fine with. I'll put something in for you in the chat for you, Preffy. Sorry, I just saw the comment and I have the worst ADD ever. But yeah, like Io is, I think, appealing to me over a fantasy point per minute with all these guys out this year. It just depends on how worried you are about them being traded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We just saw he has almost 60 fantasy point upside with all these players.
Absolutely. Out. Like I said, but you don't want to end up plugging him in and he gets moved. It's a great spot. There's a lot of great things about it. But you just got to really, really, be curious, or have some, multi lineups. I guess I wouldn't play a single entry IO tonight. I'd be too afraid. I think. What about
Isaiah Collier? Sorry, Collier. That's the guy I would play.
Yeah.
Is that who you were about to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I said I'd rather just play Collier, who absolutely is locked into minutes. They don't have any guards now behind him. They traded Clayton and Keontae's out. He's been great as it is. Pacers are all playing backups tonight. His assist prop for tonight's 9.5. So like they're basically pegging him for a double-double. I think Collier's a great play at $6,200. I'd rather play him than Suggs and Dio, I think.
I think Utah has 8 available, if I counted correctly. Markkanen, Nurkic, Collier, Filipowski, Bailey, Sensabaugh, Williams, Mihailuk. I think those are their 8 that they have available. And that's why Nurkic had to play. Because they literally don't have enough players unless they were to call. And the last I looked at their G League report, they hadn't called anyone up either. Tanguy and Toshibwe are still out. So and Harkless. I think Utah is just rolling into this game with 8. And that means and so I don't really know who their backup point guard is, as you mentioned. Like, it's just kind of Isaiah Collier. Maybe they put like Svi as their like point guard, but Nurkic is the one operating the offense because you can do that with Yusuf Nurkic. So yeah, I think Collier looks amazing. I think Utah looks great.
Bailey on the ball. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think it ultimately matters as long as you can get it to half court and all the non-Collier minutes are Nurkic minutes because Nurkic can just operate as the hub. So you just need someone to get the ball over the half court. It doesn't have to be a point guard because they only have one. Collier is the only guard really on this team. So yeah, I think Collier looks fantastic tonight.
Okay. Anybody else that you'd play before we get into the value here?
Nothing worth our time.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the Indiana Pacers then. Quentin Jackson up 73% right now.
I see higher. Let me update.
You see higher? I see 73 at $3,100.
I wasn't updated. It was higher before.
Him and then Cam Jones is 35%. So like,
yeah, and Ethan Thompson is 15.
Yeah.
You get all three available point guards. So Jackson, again, they had this scenario previously where everyone was ruled out. They lost by 50 to the Pistons, 117. Quentin Jackson started. None of them played after the 10-minute mark in the fourth. None of the starters. Quentin Jackson in that game had a 30% usage rate in his 20 minutes. All I need. If Quentin Jackson's starting and playing 30 minutes, it's just a lock and load. I'm not overthinking it. I think Cam Jones, second round pick this year, I think he was like involved in a car accident to start the year or something along those lines, and he missed the start of the year.
29 minutes for him, 1 of 10 shooting in that game.
Yeah, he just didn't shoot the ball well. I'd be okay with it. I mean, again, they're so shorthanded. Could be even more shorthanded if Micah Potter doesn't play. He's also listed as questionable. And then Ethan Thompson. Now, on the Cam Jones and the Ethan Thompson front, it's a little bit skewed with the minutes because they played basically the full fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So they played 28 minutes in the fourth, and 10 of it came in the fourth. Where if this is competitive, and I believe it could be competitive, Utah is the worst defense in the NBA, no matter who's on the floor. It didn't get any better with the trades that they made. Like, I don't think Ethan Thompson or Cam Jones play 30 or close to 30 minutes, again, in a competitive setting. If the game blows out, sure. I just, even at current roster, Indiana's only 2.5 point dogs. Like, I feel like you're like, you'd be kind of doing yourself a disservice. You're like, well, they're absolutely getting rolled today. So, yeah, I'd much rather play Quentin Jackson if the other two are not starting, and I have no reason to think either would. Like Walker, Huff, Furphy, Quentin Jackson, and then probably Ben Shepherd as your starting five. So, I mean, I'm okay with like taking shots on some of that stuff because it's 3K, and if one of them pops, like, great for you, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Quentin Jackson is so far ahead of the other two, and ownership's right there with me, that thinking as well.
For sure. I mean, if you go to shooting guard, both of those guys have shooting guard eligibility, so you're dealing with mega chalk there. No one's spending up at the position. Not that there's a big spend up at the position. Kobe White is 20%. Guess that would be the spot. But again, how scared are you of him being traded mid-game or pulled because they have a deal potentially coming close and they don't want to risk him getting injured and they bench him? Certainly something to worry about there. Josh Hart, 15% in that range as well. Would you rather, you'd probably feel better about Hart than White, or are you just okay with playing Chicago tonight?
I'm okay with playing Chicago. I mean, they're shorthanded, and could a trade materialize? It could. I think it's absolutely plausible to think Kobe White still ends up on the T-Wolves if they don't get Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be okay with Kobe. Like, my sentiments changed a little bit because a lot of pieces were, I heard
Potter just got ruled out.
Okay, wonderful. More Pacer goodness, huh? It's hilarious. Mm-hmm. I look at the Bulls at current as their current team, and assume Kobe White and Ayo make it through the game.
Okay.
Obviously, I could be wrong. I'm not a GM. I'm not in the room. I'm not like, if you get a trade, you make the trade. We've seen players on baseball. I watched last year, this is baseball, but I watched Jose Caballero in a doubleheader play for the Rays and then get traded in the middle of the doubleheader, and this whole second game he was in the Yankees dugout. So, like, obviously stuff like that can happen. But yeah, I mean, Kobe White, 7,100, no Giddey, no Vooch, no Trey Jones, no Herter. Gonna play 30 minutes, gonna have a big usage. And I think Ayo, who hasn't had as many calf injuries and concerns, could play 40 minutes tonight. That wouldn't be overly surprising. So I'm definitely okay with them. You are 100% correct with like your worry.
All about your risk aversion here, guys. That's all that.
I mean, but like,
because you can pivot and play Josh Hart, you can pivot and play NAW, right? It's two guys with the similar price tag as Kobe White or Desmond Bane versus a Thunder team that might be missing some key pieces here this evening, and find just safer options, right?
Right. But at the same time,
potential.
Luka got traded, so like anyone, like you could play someone and they get traded. You're someone who you thought was safer. What if the Knicks end up with Giannis? Like OG and Towns are not on the Knicks anymore in that scenario. So
yeah,
I just think like if in DFS, like you're always looking for an edge, and if people are not going to play a team that's in a good spot, I think that's something to look for. And if you're being safe, like you could end up being bit anyway because teams are always trading.
Sure. All right, so you're in on the Bulls. Fine. Is there anybody else in the 7K and up range that you would also be willing to?
Yeah, I like Hart as you mentioned. I think NAW is playable as well. I think both those guys are definitely in play.
Middle range from here: Najee Marshall, McCollum. There's Io, Sensabaugh 54. They just ruled Kevin Love out too, so like Utah's getting smaller. Pelly Larson, Wiggins is out. Powell downgraded. Like, could just be another spot for Larson at 54.
Yeah, we kind of knew Kevin Love wasn't going to play, which is why we were assuming there was only 8. He was downgraded to doubtful, and that's why they needed Nurk to suit up. So, yeah, I mean, I think anything related to Utah is kind of in play because they all have a minute ceiling potential, Sensabaugh included. So I like him. We'll see if Pelle Larsson can continue his assault on anyone but the Chicago Bulls. But, Atlanta is a pretty good spot, second highest pace team in the NBA now. Pelle Larsson's obviously been uber efficient from the floor. He's pretty efficient in general, 50% shooter. So I'm okay with it. Sensabaugh, Larson, no like a real objection to either.
Okay. Value range, again, the 2 guys we talked about for Indiana, but is there anybody else now that you would look at?
All three are shooting guard eligible.
Sure.
Jackson Jones, and Ethan Thompson.
Okay.
Actually, Ben Shepherd and Talon Peter are also, which is hilarious. They have 5 shooting guards. I mean, they have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 9 available players, and 5 are shooting guard eligible. So,
just pick your favorite pacer.
I think Ben Shepherd's probably the one I wouldn't get to, but Would you
play Cody Williams over any of them? Just another team that's shorthanded on the other side.
Maybe Cody Williams is the one Jazz player I wouldn't play.
Yeah,
I would rather play almost every pacer min salary player than play Cody Williams because he's like 1/10 of his brother.
Okay. I mean, I'm just asking because he's there.
No, yeah, I'm just telling you that he is the most unexciting NBA player in the history of the NBA. But I guess because he's one of 8 guys, like there is like something to be said about it,
sure.
But he's just
absolutely. So one guy gets in foul trouble,
like Svi played 30 minutes last game. Svi is one of 8 guys. Would you rather play Svi or Cody Williams?
I Svi because he shoots the basketball.
Cody Williams is out there to work on his endurance. Shout out to Cody Williams. I hope he one day becomes his brother.
At small forward, again, it's more Pacers, Dries Walker, Johnny Furphy up for the ownership. But then Jaylen Brown is number 3. He's the highest priced small forward on the slate here today. You've always said you have no problem getting to JB. Has anything changed for you now with all the available value plays?
No, I'm always good with JB. If you have a 36% usage rate and you're in a big pace-up spot, sign me up. I'm in.
Okay. No one's playing MPJ. Obviously, he just launches from 3, has a super high scoring ceiling. If he gets hot, he can do that against Lakers for sure here. Where do you go? I mean, are you just... I don't want to be repetitive for the sake of the show, but like, are you just playing Dries Walker and moving on? Like, is there somebody else in this mid-range that you would look to? Does Jaime Jaquez now look more appealing with Wiggins and Powell potentially out at 65?
I mean, you could play Josh Hart here. That's a good one. You can play NAW here. That's a good one.
Yep.
I think Jaime Jaquez looks great. No Hero, no Norm, no Wiggins. Whether he starts or not, it doesn't ultimately matter. They usually don't start him. But he's going to play massive minutes. He's going to get into the 30s in minutes in a pace-up spot. Or not a pace-up spot, but this is the team that is second. So we have the top 2 teams in pace. We have the most implied points on the board. I love Jaquez. Can definitely get to Ace Bailey in tournaments at 58. Again, could Ace Bailey play the most minutes he's played all year tonight? Absolutely could. Wouldn't be surprising at all if he did. But yeah, like Jarris Walker looks great. I mean, in that Detroit game he started, he did not play well. He had a 27% usage rate. That was second on the team. He is a guy that we saw earlier in the year when they were missing a bunch of players playing like upper 30s minutes. I think that's well within the range of outcomes tonight. If this is competitive, Jarris Walker plays 38 minutes tonight. They have 9 players. Most of their wings are out. It's mostly guards. And, Jarris Walker has the unique ability of playing the 3 and the 4, which Indiana's obviously short on tonight. Yeah, I think he has the highest fantasy ceiling on a team that has the 5 of the 6 highest rostered players.
Yeah. Officially Norm Powell out, as we kind of figured, but it came officially he's out for tonight. So
wow, I was thinking about this the other day, how he keeps being out for personal. He's really taking notes from James Harden. Next is the trade request that comes.
You think so? Even though they might be getting Giannis, he could be sent in that trade. Yeah.
And then Norm will go on to Twitter the next day and post his gambling platform that he.
The Heat now owe Terry Rozier $26 million, so they're they got to figure out what they're going to do there. So.
Yeah, Terry Rozier is honestly a great trade chip now that they have to pay him.
Yeah,
because he's an expiring contract, right? Like, please, trade me Terry
money.
Rozier. Yeah, $26 million off the books.
Become a buck if they traded for Giannis just to get the money.
Yes.
All right, so yes, Jarris Walker, perfect. Anything else for value then? I mean, again, it's Furphy for that range, but Sensabaugh is here that no one's playing at 6%. Dalen Terry's 3%, with all the guys that are out now for Chicago. Any interest in some Dalen Terry tonight?
Could be talking to some Dalen Terry. He is not very good. I don't have a lot to say.
8x like the last 2 games.
Opportunity has come a knocking, and he has taken advantage of it. So, I'm not like totally against it. Fistula, I was just kidding. I don't actually believe Norm Powell is demanding a trade.
Can't be saying those things here, Grande.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Yeah. People thought you and I were fighting yesterday at the end of the show. So, I mean.
No, John Cena, who's saying, John Cena, who I can't actually see, but is saying, well, games are going. That actually did, there was, in the playback platform shut down. There was people doing it on playback, and then playback shut down. So, RIP to playback.
Yep. It did exist. It's true. We also, on SiriusXM, we used to do the live betting show as well.
Sure.
For a brief moment. All righty. Anything else here at small forward? How in on Furphy are you?
I think he's fine. Like, he is not. He's good. He's good, right? I mean, he's good.
Sure. Power forward then. Up at the very top of the position, you have Jalen Johnson. I know he's a guy that you're a big fan of. He is also getting the second most ownership at the position because there is a lot of value today. Is he your top spend up?
Damn, I need to update more. No, I see him
second.
I see him fifth.
Okay.
And I just updated.
Actually, you're right. I just refreshed as well. He is the highest of the spend ups. Yes. But the other Pacers are now way up there. 40% for Huff and Jarris there. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Jalen Johnson is an elite play. I mean, you're getting a super athlete in a game that is constantly back and forth, up and down the floor. Yes, sign me up. He's my primary Luka pivot, and it is extremely possible to play them both, like very easily.
You have a whole team of $3,000 players.
You have an entire team of 3K plays. It just depends on how much you value, like the mid-tier options. And Rolly brings up like an interesting comment. Does Porzingis hurt Jalen Johnson? I mean, Porzingis is gonna play teens minutes.
Yeah,
There's
20
just no
20 probably at the most, right? Like,
he returned after a month and played 18 and then came down with like another injury. Like it was a calf. Like there's just no way they can actually extend him. And trading Trey Young signified like this is Jalen Johnson's team. This is not a Kristaps Porzingis led team. This is Jalen Johnson's team, and everyone's gonna kind of conform to him. I don't think it hurts having another like lethal shooter on the floor for the amount of minutes that they'll play together tonight. So no, I don't believe it impacts him at all.
yeah.
That was kind of the John had messaged me about the CJ McCollum impact after the first few games. And then Jalen Johnson went on and had like 3 straight 30-point triple doubles. And it's like, you realize just because like there is something added doesn't mean it's necessary. Like this is still the primary player on this team. Like he is still.
I mean, in those games, McCollum was taking more shots. So I was just like, well, that's
right.
new.
No. I know. I'm not saying it was something that you sent me. Yeah. Like, I'm just saying that was not a sustain. Like that was never going to be like they didn't trade CJ McCollum to be like, I'm the captain now. They traded, they traded for him to be like, oh, here's Jalen Johnson's team. Welcome.
Sure.
And Kristaps Porzingis isn't going to return for 18 minutes. Isn't going to change that. So I'm all in on a 240 total with Jalen Johnson in it against two teams with the fastest pace in the league.
Sure. Bobby Portis is got the downgrade, but he was getting some ownership. Jalen Smith is 30% if we assume he plays or not. Bazilis is 15%. I thought Laurie would be higher, but he's not. He was a cover of the preview show. They're
8 guys, 8 players.
8 players going up against a bunch of backups and a bunch of foul happy guys as well in the front court for Indiana. Like, why is no one playing Laurie today?
I don't. As the famous quote, I don't have an answer for you, Sway. That's what Kanye said once. Yeah. The great Kanye West.
He had a comment earlier that said like Laurie was going to be sneaky. Jake, marketing kind of sneaky. Not here. He covered our preview show. We were like, he was the first guy we plugged in. We didn't finish the show yesterday before we put Laurie Markkinen in our core play line.
Him and Towns, right? Him and Towns were in before we finished our build.
That's how confident we were in on Laurie before everything that went down for today. His point prop tonight's like 28.5. So like they're projecting like a big number for Markkinen tonight.
They have 8 players. Do they have 8 players?
Yeah, he might score 40 actual in this game.
He played 39 minutes the other day.
I'm saying like there could be a 40 actual point game, which he's done twice back to back already this year. In this spot, he had 35 actual against Indiana earlier this year. I'm all in. And you're telling me he's 15%? I'm like, yeah.
Well, this spot is different because this spot is full of G Leaguers and backups to the backups. So like even this spot is even better.
Is Markkinen in play? Yes.
Nope, don't play him.
You might be my favorite player on the entire slate. I'm not going to lie to you. Especially if you're telling me he's only 15% roster. I can't believe that's going to hold true, right? It has to be higher.
Right? No, I think
there's so much value. You're telling me you can't fit in a Laurie Markkinen? He could go for 60 fantasy points.
What I think is going to be more popular is Luka plus another star. And that's why I think
Laurie is another star.
Okay. Luka plus
sure.
Towns plus Jalen Johnson, or Luka plus Cade and Jalen Johnson, or Luka Towns, Jalen Johnson, right? And I think when you're looking at that, like you can't play Markkinen, but I agree. I also think, like I've said it from the start of the show, Luka is an amazing play, but you don't have to play Luka just because there's like there's also, you can get 4 8K players tonight or a 10K and 3 8K players and then just fill out 3K, 3K, 3K across the rest of your lineup. So, yeah, I think Markkinen looks great if he's not going to be rostered.
Sure. again, Walker's over 40%, and then it's Huff. Huff's over 40% here at $4,300.
Let's go back to Jalen Smith first because we'll go in price order. I think Jalen Smith would look great, especially because we were told that the calf is cramping, which is different than obviously like a calf injury or a strain. Mm-hmm. Those things are different. So without Vooch, wheels up for Jalen Smith. I mean, Jalen Smith could play high 30s minutes. We just saw it the other day. Super high fantasy player per minute player without Josh Giddey, Nikola Vucevic. So I'm all in on Jalen Smith if he plays. Billy Donovan has also been quite good at giving us like, this player is in and he'll play this many minutes, right? This player is in and he'll be limited to this. If we don't hear that, Jalen Smith's probably not on a limit. Or if he comes out and says Jalen Smith is 24 to 26, that's obviously we're not going there. But if Jalen Smith is not limited, definitely in play. Buzelis not getting any ownership is a little bit interesting. I guess he's getting relatively, right around Lowry. I think it's pretty good considering, it's a good spot against Milwaukee, who could be without Portis here, just to add to the laundry list of injuries that they have. It's a shorthanded Bulls team, whether Kobe and Io finish a full game or not. Like, it's still a shorthanded team. They still don't have Josh Giddey. They still traded Nikola Vucevic. So I think the Bulls dudes look good here. We talked Jaquez, who looks good. And that's OG has a ceiling in GPPs. We know that there's a really high ceiling. There's a really low floor. That's been OG Anunoby in a nutshell, his literal entire career.
Like you said, this could just be another situation like we saw with Şengün the other night, where it's just the ultimate matchup for centers. So Towns just goes off and everybody else has like a good night, but not like a great night.
Yeah, and like Brunson, we know Brunson in that scenario gets his shots, and then everyone else is like watching, kind of.
Feeding Towns as he just destroys this matchup. So
but
I don't mind. I actually wrote up the OG over 1.5 3-pointers tonight. I think that's a pretty decent play. The Wizards are just horrific defensively. So, all right. Other plays as we work our way down the list. Again, Huff is the value play at 43, and Walker you can play here as well at $5,200. The foul trouble for Huff, 5 fouls in 12 minutes. They are severely depleted. We know he has a pretty good ceiling if he can stay on the floor. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, my thoughts are if he just stays out of foul trouble, he's a great play. And what I will say is you cannot, if you want to play Jay Huff, if your research takes you to Jay Huff, you cannot let him getting in foul trouble yesterday dictate your decision to play him tonight. Cannot. Yeah. I'm not saying it. It's obviously possible that he gets in foul trouble because he's done this all year. But in the games where he stays out of foul trouble, there's 4 block upside, there's 5-3 upside. Like, he has a high ceiling. And it is as good a spot as you will find. Utah is the 30th ranked defense in the NBA. They're 3rd in pace. Those two things are a dream scenario for NBA DFS. So if you land on Jay Huff, there is the possibility he gets in foul trouble, but don't let yesterday's results impact you on playing Jay Huff. I played Jay Huff yesterday. I'm going to play Jay Huff today because this spot and the fantasy points per minute, it's great. Like, it's a great spot. So
he goes out there today, gets like 5 blocks and double or something like that. You're cooking.
Dude, he showed it yesterday. Like, if you 16 fantasy points in 12 minutes. Like, the guy is a great fantasy per minute player. He just needs to stay out of foul trouble. Who's to say he stays out of foul trouble? Obviously, but anyone can get in foul. Like, it's just the game that they play. So I think Huff looks good. I think Fontecchio probably starts here at $4,100. I could see a pretty reasonable minute increase considering they're down 3 wings in Hero, Norm,
And Wiggins.
And Wiggins. Yeah, I mean, I could see a scenario where Simone gets an increase. Nikola Jovic is probably someone also that no one's going to even think about clicking. Yeah, but like we're looking at a team that is, you want to talk about a team that could trade players at any moment in time. I mean, front and center. If Milwaukee can click the accept button at any point, right? Like on this, and we know Collier is in that trade, so
we know it's Ware and Hero at the very least,
So like if Jovic is I mean, there's again no Norm, no Wiggins. Ware could also just be out of the rotation because Spoelstra feels like it. He played 3 minutes the other day. So I think Jovic, it's in large field stuff, like all the Heat ancillary stuff. Like Jovic is definitely more of a large field play. Fontecchio feels a little safer than him. I think Patrick Williams is a little bit interesting. I said that on the show last night. And then Nikola Vucevic got traded. So
could start as the center tonight if Smith doesn't play.
Dude, they will. I would have a hard time imagining they would even consider starting Ulbrich, Lockie. They didn't the last time. They literally went with the small ball lineup and Pat Will. Look, we know what Patrick Williams is at this point, but hey, kind of like what you mentioned with Dalen Terry, he's been getting extended minutes. He's been more productive.
We've seen stretches where we thought Patrick Williams was like a really good fantasy player.
Yeah, thought he was going to break out, and you're like, he still does things where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then he just forgets that he did those things.
Then he goes 0 for 7 for 3 in the next game, so it's like.
No. Like possession to possession. He forgets that he just did something cool. He's like, oh, I don't know how I blacked out. I don't remember doing that.
Sure. Anybody else here, power forward?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Up at the center position, there is Nikola Jokic at $11,700.
Oh boy.
29 minutes last game.
If you were projecting Jokic minutes tonight, what would you comfortably say?
I would say 33, but I think there's a range where he could play 38. With him, I think it's at some point he's just like, I feel good, and they just let him play. So. But 33, I said it last night. You just go up 4 minutes, 25 to 29 to 33, 4 minutes increments.
Yeah.
He's good at 30 minutes. He's good at 25 minutes. You saw that, 61 fantasy points. So
first time he's been under 12K all year.
Yeah, I get it. Detroit, tougher matchup. This is the best player in the world. Not close at all. So he could easily go out there today and do his thing and put up 60 fantasy points in 30 minutes and pay off 11-7. He can go for 80 if he plays 35. It's possible. It's a close game. It's like a 230 spread total. I mean, no one's playing him. He's 10%.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I have probably. Excuse me. I have probably played more Jokic than any other person on the planet throughout my DFS career.
Probably true. Yeah.
So I will never object to playing him if there's a possibility of 35 minutes. I personally don't see it because he's coming back from a major knee injury.
He came back early and he's already playing 30 minutes.
I guess it's fair.
So
I know.
I don't know.
But is that because the awards?
It does. Well, even if it was because of the awards, they wouldn't need to push him 30 minutes. They could have played him 20 minutes and kept him.
This is what happened to Halliburton with the strain, and then he pulled his hamstring, and then he was done for the year.
Different injury. I mean, they played him. So
I think he is absolutely in play. I'm not doubting the player.
sure.
I was just more so
cheap as he's been all year.
Yeah, I was just more so seeing where your head's at with the minutes.
I'm still going to stay consistent with what I said last night. It wouldn't shock me if they just gave him another 4 and he got up to 33.
Okay.
I also wouldn't be shocked if at the end of the night he played 38. Like I just wouldn't. He is a different breed of human.
He is.
No,
he really is.
So
no pun intended.
He scored 61 in 25 minutes. Yeah, dude, he's the other guy this year that's got a triple double and a half. So,
yes.
Anyways, we got Bam at 84, Towns at 83, Sarr at 79 in the mid range. Yusuf Nurkic, as you said, down to 8 potential players for Utah. Great matchup against the Pacers at 77. If we're not spending up at this position, how are you feeling about the mid range?
Yeah, I mean, again, just looked at the 545 injury report. Utah has 8. Unless those dudes from Memphis, the trade goes through, they have 8. So Nurkic he was going to not play for rest, so he should be available in full. Love Nurkic in tournaments for sure. Love him in honestly any format, because as long as he gets 30 minutes, there's a super high ceiling. Mm-hmm. Bam looks very good. We literally just got the underdog tweet with the 8 players available, which we had already talked about, but 8 players available there. I think Bam looks pretty good. The scoring has been way up. And we've kind of highlighted it. The 3-point volume is way up. Great spot. Porzingis being back doesn't influence my decision at all. He's not going to be playing enough. Miami's down 3 key pieces, so I like Bam. I like Nurkic. Those would probably be the 2 guys I'd play in this range.
Okay. Again, Towns obviously someone that we were highlighting the matchup earlier. It is one of the best spots for centers. So if you believe that tonight he scores and shoots more than the 11, 12 shots we've seen out of him lately, again, he's not even getting to the free throw line. I just don't know where the scoring has gone with Towns here, but this is a great spot. It's a 20.5 point prop and a 12.5 rebound prop for him tonight. So Vegas is expecting some good numbers out of Karl Anthony Towns here this evening. Anthony, they had to rule Nurkic in because they're down to 8 players. So I guess be wary if he doesn't start. I don't know, maybe they just keep him on the bench, but keep him active. We
know what happens if he doesn't start. I mean, he doesn't play, and then they're just praying Filipowski doesn't get in foul trouble, because then they're cooked. Yeah. I would be shocked. At least we'll know. It's 7 p.m.
7 o'clock. Yeah,
we'll know ahead of time.
Yep. Previous asked if his Ulbrich season yet.
Never Locky. No, it's never Locky season.
Okay.
Locky's gonna have 5 fouls. You want to talk about someone who's gonna just go out there to hack? I guess if Jalen Smith were to be ruled out, they clearly just don't care about this game.
What about Miles Turner? He's Bobby Portis downgraded, now up against a team that traded their center. Has shown some upside of late, 31 actual against Philadelphia, the double-double versus Washington, because everybody is smoking that team this day from a center position. So $6,200 Miles Turner for you tonight.
Yeah, has a good ceiling. Good in tournaments for sure.
All right. Other plays as we work our way down the list? Any other values you'd look at?
Let's see.
Crab Shingun says exactly what we just said. Potentially. Probably on a slight delay for us there. Yeah, very well. We'll know, like you said, 7 o'clock roster lock. We'll know if Nurk is in the starting lineup. If he's not in the starting lineup, you can't play him. So.
Yeah,
and then someone mentioned the Thunder late value. We could, we won't know about the Thunder, so you could build and think some guys sit out there, but
yeah, and the problem is going to be with that is you're going to have so much locked into the early window because the Indiana stuff. The Indiana-Utah game in general. There could be... I think the Indiana value is better anyway.
Sure.
Just given the spot. I mean, they're at the end of the day,
The price wise, they're infinitely cheaper than anything that would be on the Thunder. So.
Right. And they have the 30th ranked defense in the NBA. I mean, they are facing the worst defense in the NBA that only has 8 players.
Yeah. We had an Isaiah Jackson question earlier. He is over 30% as of at least right now. $3,200. Again, we know that he can be a really good fantasy player if he can just avoid the fouls.
I am interested for sure. I think it's important, again, to note, like, he is, there's no Tony Bradley on this team. They ruled out Micah Potter. So they really have 2 centers tonight. Like, I don't think, there's a wide range of outcomes. I think Isaiah Jackson could play 18 minutes tonight. He could play 25 minutes tonight. I don't think the 25 are guaranteed. If Jay Huff stays out of foul trouble, then I think Jay Huff is probably the guy that you'd rather own in the split. But I also think in this scenario, like, I'd be okay playing them both. I usually wouldn't play. I'd probably usually max one. But given Isaiah Jackson's price at 3,200, and given the fact that they just have 2 available centers,
like news for you. Kristaps Porzingis is out tonight. So,
oh boy, he has an illness, dude.
Well, he has an illness he can't get rid of at this point.
I know, but he was coming back from the
POTS, right?
No, he's coming back from the calf.
Yeah, well, he's got
and
POTS.
Now he's back to now he's
So you don't even have to worry about Kristaps anymore. So,
Jesus, dude. I mean, Mohamed Gay is going to be, again, probably getting all the minutes at center. I mean, they ran him out for 32 the other day. Koloko as your backup center, and the continues. Jesus, dude.
It's gonna be one of those slates where it's the winning lineup. I think could be a little interesting at the end of the.
So we had a couple interesting questions. I think for Fistula. That was a theory, but it's been confirmed he has POTS. There was a couple questions about winning. I think Preffy asked us how many we need. How many Pacers? And then Osid asked, I think, favorite 3 Pacers. I think GoFi's asked or said Quentin Jack. So I think Indiana has a minimum of 3 in the winning lineup tonight.
Okay.
Because they're so cheap. I mean, there is. We also had, I think, Steve Smith, the wide receiver, asked us how many Indiana has available. And I think the answer is 9. Walker, Huff, Furphy, Shepard, Jackson is 5. And then Jackson 6, Peter 7, Thompson 8, Cam Jones 9. So they have 9 available. So there's 17 players total available in Utah, Indiana.
It's like a COVID game.
It is literally like a COVID game. This is peak 2020.
Yeah.
So I think a minimum of 3 players will be in the winning lineup for Indiana, especially like when you get the Quentin Jackson, inevitably get the Quentin Jackson starting, right? And he's 3,100. That's easy click 3,100. And then it just depends. Like, if Jay Huff stays out of foul trouble, he'll be super chalk. He could go for 30, 40. Isaiah Jackson, if Jay Huff doesn't and people play Isaiah Jackson at 3,200, Isaiah Jackson has 30 fantasy point upside, and he would be in a win. I think 3. I think it's possible. 5, you could. 5 is possible. Tonight, I would be comfortable playing 5 Pacers. I don't think I would, because I think the slate, there's a lot of different paths to take. But yeah, I think 5 is definitely an option.
Yep. Just got to keep getting a lot of Lachlan Olbrich quick comments here, but I mean, if they got nobody, I mean, they got to play.
Yeah, I mean, if he's the only
If
center,
Jalen Smith gets ruled out, you'd almost have to play him, but we don't know. Obviously, that situation.
Well, yes, but they did start Patrick Williams at the center the other day.
Yeah,
without both of them.
Sure.
So I don't think you would have to.
I don't think they would have to start him. I just think that he would give him some run.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, they traded everyone today, and
let's get a core build going. We do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. As Preffy said, there's over 500 of you currently watching us. If you haven't hit that like, share, or subscribe button, we do go live every day at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We also do a preview show each night that gets released around 10 to 11 o'clock at night to preview the next day's slate. If you're not yet a member of Fantasy Alarm, we do have 50% off our first month promo going on as well. You can go to fantasyalarm.com/YouTube. Promo code YT50, $20 for the month. You get access to everything on site, all best bets, DFS, seasonal content for all sports included for $20 on that first month. Cancel it anytime. Alrighty.
I just wanted to comment on Deeg's point here.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. It won't be a concern, John. If you want to maybe look at the sports books, they don't have Underdog doesn't have anything Quentin Jackson related as of right now. Only thing I'd say is we'll know the starting lineup by 7 or by 6:30. And also the only players that the Pacers do have props for are the players that are already in their rotation. So
the books are also just protecting themselves a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Jarris Walker, Jay Huff, Ben Shepherd, Johnny Furphy, Isaiah Jackson are the 5 players that I see with props. Those players play.
Yeah. That's all I have on DraftKings as well.
Right. So I think don't worry about that as much because we'll know about the starting lineup. He started the last time they did this against Detroit. So yeah, I don't think don't look too much into that.
Okay.
Jordan, I am truthfully, I think Washington on a big slate with all the value is a complete stay away today based on what they did the other day with their starting lineup.
So you're playing QJ, Walker, Huff, or Jackson? What's the...
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you not play Walker because he's the most expensive? And do you do...
I mean, dude, at the end of the day, they have 9 players and they're playing the worst defense in the NBA. Jarris Walker could triple-double tonight, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. Dude, Luka. Just eat the chalk here, $6,300 a player.
I mean, it's fine.
Your Luka Jokic build gives you $4,500 a player. Certainly can.
It's
can
easy.
there.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
But I think you actually wanted to do like this. So we do this and we do this. Maybe we'll do Jackson.
I mean, some iteration of this.
Right.
Sure.
That gives you 5,500 players: Jackson, Walker, Johnson, Jackson, Luka. So a bunch of different ways to make it happen.
Power of the Jays. There, you were everyone but Luka.
Everybody but Luka. Yeah, everybody Luka has a J in their name. So guys, a lot of different ways to build it tonight. This is just an example of a core lineup here. You have $5,400 left with shooting guard, forward, and utility available to you all. You can also move Jackson to shooting guard and Luka to point guard, and you have guard, forward, utility. Again, get the playbook in the Discord, get the updates, stay hip to the news. 3 games start at 7, so you will get starting lineups for some of these teams, notably Utah, Indiana. If Yusuf Nurkic is not starting, do not play him. It's basically my parting analysis for you guys. Any final thoughts for you here, Grande?
No, all the updates will be in the playbook and in the Discord that you guys can find at fantasyalarm.com.
All right, everybody. We'll have the preview show on a little bit later tonight.